Welcome everyone to Catena Weekly News. Stark reminder of the challenges facing the global economy. The IMF has warned the public that worldwide is set to surpass a staggering 100 trillion by the end of year 2024. This warning comes as China GDP growth slows, fueling call for further economic stimulus. 7 major central banks amid mounting uncertainties already ease monetary policies. Meanwhile, signs from US retail sector and UK inflation figures hint that rate cut may soon be on horizon. As nations navigate these turbulent waters, all eyes are on policymakers to see if these adjustments will steady the global economy. Bold move. Russia is pushing for a BRICS digital currency, challenging Western dominance in global finance. President Vladimir Putin has unveiled a plan to create a unified digital currency, aiming to reduce dependencies on Western finance systems. Consultation with few BRICS nations such as China, India, and Brazil is already underway. This ambitious initiative could reshape global finance landscape, shifting power dynamics and offering fresh alternatives for emerging economies. With talks heating up, all eyes are on BRICS to see this digital currency will mark new era in international finance. World of cryptocurrencies. Ripple's XRP making waves yet again. Experts think the SEC isn't ready to approve XRP spot ETF. And here's why. The ongoing legal clashes between Ripple Labs and the SEC continue to cast long shadows, stirring up doubts and regulated approvals. Without clear legal outcome or regulated futures market, the SEC remains cautious. While investors remain hopeful for an eventual XRP ETF, experts believe that approval hinges on final resolution. Until then, XRP journey remains turbulent as ever. Big news for a greener world. Powerledger has joined forces with Solana, opening doors to a brighter, sustainable future. With this integration, Powerledger dual-chain power token will operate on both Ethereum and Solana, enhancing the trading of renewable energy assets like never before. This collaboration promises faster processing and significant lower fees, making clean energy more accessible to everyone. Imagine a world where trading renewable token is not only efficient but also within the reach. Today, Powerledger and Solana bring us one step closer to that reality. The future, sustainable energy trading is here, and it is powerful. In a move that could reshape global tech investment, states preparing to tighten restriction on all AI investment in China. Under upcoming executive order, certain AI investment will be curbed to prevent advancement that could benefit China's military, which could take effect before November 5th election, putting a growing focus on national security. Really, a restriction will allow investment in public traded securities and mutual funds, aiming to strike balance between security and market stability. We will bring you more as the story develops. Few charts. Let's start with Bitcoin. Last 3 months, Bitcoin has been holding impressive trend line. We can see each time it bounced back when it reached this trend line. So we assume this is a good support. If you closely look at these charts, if Bitcoin can maintain this trend line, It could break the crucial resistance at 68K as well as around 71-72 range. This level has been significant barrier. 8 and 72 level was significant barrier for Bitcoin before. But with the consistent upward movement, breaking it could be signal new bullish pace. Let's look at next week where's the Bitcoin going to end up. Ethereum has been range bound for months, and despite its vast potential, it hasn't drawn in investors like Bitcoin. Significant game-changing projects has been developed in Ethereum as a platform, yet it is still lingering discovery. The hesitation may stem from the perception gap. While Ethereum is respected as a powerful platform for smart contracts, I think still investors see Bitcoin as a superior store of value compared to Ethereum. Ethereum's technology and applications are groundbreaking. I think we don't have a doubt about it. The sentiment hasn't shifted fully, trusted it as an investment potential. The real identity of Ethereum, such as technology and asset class, I think it remain as a hurdle, confusing investors, building the proper confidence as an investment asset class. That is my opinion. Let's see how Ethereum going to perform in next few months. Let's look at some of the key economic indicators released in last week. So we have initial jobless claims. The last was 242K, forecasted 243, but actual was lower than expected, which is 227K. So US initial claims fell by 15,000 to 227,000. US initial job claims fell from 15,000 to 227,000. That is returning to pre-hurricane levels. Recent spike from temporary storm impacts. Right? So this suggests few layoff and resilience labor market. Look at new home sales. Last was 709, expected 719, actual 738. So it is expected then higher. So this mark 4.1% increase from the August and notable 6.3 year-over-year rise. So driven by a straight drop in mortgage rates that made new properties more appealing and compared to the existing homes. That is why we see high new home sales numbers. Durable goods orders, last was minus 0.8, forecasted minus 1.1, actual is minus 0.8, same as last numbers. The sector particularly influenced by Boeing production changes and ongoing strike. So experienced a 3.1 reduction in new orders, impacting overall figures. However, if transportation is excluded from durable goods orders, actually it rose by 0.4%. Look at the S&P Global US Manufacturing PMI. Last 47.3, forecasted 47.5, actual is 47.8. So this doesn't mean sector is growing, but it indicates small improvement in the economic environment for manufacturing, with the inflation slowdown with the services sector and the optimism about achieving the Fed 2% inflation target. There's a renewed confidence among the businesses. That is why we see My numbers increased. Look at some of the economic indicators to be released in next week. We can see a few key indicators, especially focusing towards the employment. So ADP non-farm employment changes supposed to be released on 30th of October, as well as initial jobless claim on 31st of October, and non-farm payroll followed, and then unemployment rates as well. So unemployment rate expected same as the last result. So that reflect the percentage of labor force that is in jobless but actually seeking employment. This is reported in monthly figures, providing insight into health of job market and broad economy. And the employment numbers, there are a few other key indicators to be released next week. One is CB consumer confidence. Last was 98.7, forecasted 98.8. Let's look at what are the other key indicators supposed to be released. Core PCE price index. We can see crude oil inventories also supposed to be released on 30th of October. The personal spending month over month, which is going to be in 31st October. Last was 0.2%, expected 0.4%. That measure the monthly percentage change in consumer spending on goods and services. It's key measurement for consumer demand and the contribution towards significantly on GDP in US. So what we see is the numbers is forecasted to increase by 0.2%. And let's see what are the key key indicators to be released in next week. One of the other key indicator is GDP quarter over quarter. So expected same as the last, which is 0.3%. Just in country gross domestic product compared to the previous quarter. At some of the earnings to be released in next week. We start with Ford Motors. They're planning to release earnings on 28th. So last year EPS 1.54. We're expecting this year EPS 1.89. The Ford is expecting to report challenges in EV segment, with analysis anticipating significant EV losses. The company also faced scrutiny over its pricing strategies in the current economic environment. So let's see whether Ford can meet the expected outcome. Let's move to Pfizer. So Pfizer is supposed to release earnings on 29th. The last year EPS 1.86. The expected 2.65. With the COVID-19 vaccine demand decrease, but Pfizer revenue shifted towards other treatments and drugs will be the key in this time EPS, alongside its strategic pipeline development in gene therapies and oncology. So let's see Pfizer's results on 29th. The Google Alphabet also supposed to release earnings. They are expecting significant growth in this quarter, 1.84. Last year EPS 5.25. This year expecting 7.66. Google Q3 will likely highlight performance in its core and advertising businesses, which could be boosted by the adoption of the AI enhanced search tools. Growing Google Cloud is expected to be another big spot. They are capturing AWS and Microsoft Azure as enterprises slowly shifting towards the GCP, Google Cloud solutions. So investors anticipating interesting numbers, as well as people expecting updates related to the YouTube ad revenue as well. So let's see Google results. Next, Visa. So Visa also expecting high numbers. So last year EPS 8.3. This year expecting 9.93. This quarter 2.58. So Visa is most likely continue the growth, with analysis expectation toward positive trends in the payment volumes and their revenue, reflecting that they're sustained in the consumer spending. Right? So next interesting one is a new fintech technology, and which is Shopify, a game changer. So Shopify last year EPS was not good, like minus 0.25. What they're expecting this year, positive number 0.11, this quarter 0.04. So investors will be looking towards the progressing towards a profitability as Shopify growing members, addition, new products rollout, and so their performance in lending and financial services segment. So let's see how Shopify will be performing. Then we look at Meta expecting huge growth, which is 11.5 EPS year over year to 21.35. It's a huge number. So the Q3 numbers likely reflect recovery in advertising revenue as brand adjusting their marketing strategies post privacy policy changes, and Meta investment is AI for targeting and content recommendation and user experience across the Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp likely be the key drivers, right? So experience they're going to deliver, integrating AI into their multiple platforms. So Microsoft also plan to release on 30th their forecast. So their earnings, the forecasted 13.07. Let's see their numbers, especially in the cloud computing and other potential products like Office 365 and the investment in OpenAI, how this could impact their revenue. So Apple also releasing earnings in 31st. Their Q3 numbers heavily depend on sales of new launch iPhone 16 product and the services they deliver, including iCloud, Apple Store, Apple Music, and other sources. They're growing their business. Amazon also releasing earnings in 31st. This is a huge week. So they're also expecting huge growth, 1.96 EPS to 4.73. So their focus is profitability with update on consumer demand and trend challenging towards retail environment, retail dynamics, any initiative focused towards AI, how they can build their Amazon capabilities, competing with companies like Microsoft, Meta, right? So how they can dominate in the AI space. So MasterCard also releasing earnings, which is on 31st. They're also expecting growth. So especially they thinking their earnings reflect their strong cross-border transaction volumes globally. So let's see their results and their partnership across the digital payment services and so on. So Uber also releasing earnings on 31st. They're also expecting growth, be profitable in this year. The quarterly they're expecting 0.41, but let's see the numbers. So those are the key earning releases. At the same time, you can see that many other companies also releasing earnings, including Polycom, Caterpillar, and so on. So let's meet back next week. Then we will look at how this earning reflect and how their stocks perform after the earning releases. Thanks everyone joining for this week news with us. Looking forward to meet you in next week. Thank you very much.